Well, SIU, they're off to a great start. Coach Henson's done a fantastic job getting them off to a 9-2 record here early. The first thing that stands out, they're playing much faster than they have the last couple years we've played against them, averaging 80 points a game. Anthony Bean's just a dynamic scorer, can really score it in a variety of ways, shoots it well from three, really good one-on-one creator, so he's going to really challenge us defensively. And then from their defensive standpoint, the 10th in the country in forced turnovers, really doing a nice job speeding teams up, turning them over, and then converting those turnovers into points.
Now, do you want to slow it down against them, or do you or like if you try to play at a faster pace, does that play into their hands?
No, we still want to try and play fast. We need to play faster, and we need to get some easier scoring opportunities in the open floor. Another area we have to get better is getting second chance opportunities on the offensive glass. People ask me often about our rebounding margin. Rebounding margin's not a very telling statistic. We've been solid for the most part from a defensive rebounding standpoint. We've had some stretches that have cost us, but our offensive rebounding has been very poor. And we've got to get some guys hungry to get to the glass and get some easy opportunities for us.
Last couple of games, you've come up a little short, but
Yep.
You haven't really played poorly. Do you feel like you're making strides?
Well, I feel like we're getting better, but at the end of the day, it's a results-driven deal. And last two games we've been up by 5 at the half against two very good basketball teams. And the bottom line is we haven't gotten the job done in the second half and gotten the victory. So we've made some progress from an offensive execution standpoint. My one frustration offensively the last two games, we've turned the basketball over too many times. That was one of our strengths, one of our few offensive strengths early in the season was we took care of the basketball. We've been too loose with it the last couple of outings and need to do a better job, especially going into a team against Southern Illinois who's forcing a turnover in 1 out of every 4 possessions.
You've played some zone defense, especially in the Iowa State game. Is that something?
We didn't play Iowa State well.
Okay, well, I got the.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry about that. Illinois State.
I know.
Got the wrong state. Okay, Illinois State. Anyway, you played some zone defense, especially in the Illinois State game. Is that something that you expect to continue to work on and become a part of your regular repertoire on defense?
Well, it's never going to be the foundation, but I do think it's something we have to get better at. I thought we had some good possessions in our zone against Illinois State, but it's something we need a secondary defense. I think it's important that you're able to mix defenses, and then also, we're not playing a lot of guys, and we face some foul trouble, and we need an option to go to when we do get in that foul trouble that can keep some of those guys out there on the court.
How's the health of the team so far?
Health's good. DeMarcus, I was really pleased with his week of practice when he came back from the injury to his low back, and then thought he was, from an athleticism standpoint, was fantastic at Illinois State. Didn't really show any rust as far as that goes. He's handled multiple practices in a row and really hadn't had any further issue with it. So hopefully we've got that behind us, and because we're counting on him,
right.
And he's a dynamic athlete who can really help us from a rebounding standpoint and his ability to get to the basket and finish plays.
Definitely. Let's see here. You played a series of Missouri Valley teams here. Do they play a similar style of basketball, or is each team on a different challenge for you?
Well, each team's been a different challenge. I think you look at Evansville, they're one of the best motion offense teams in the country. They really challenge you in your defensive principles because they set so many screens, they move so well without the ball, and they have 2 elite players in Ballantyne and the big fella up front. Right. Then you look at Illinois State, completely different style. A lot of full court pressure, run and jump traps. That was the one frustrating thing with Sunday's game. We handled their full court pressure really well, and we were able to attack and get some easy baskets. And then when they took the press off and played more of a half court defense, that's when we started to turn the basketball over. And then Southern Illinois will present some different challenges. The one similar comparison is, with Southern Illinois and Evansville both have just dynamic guards in Ballantyne and Bean that'll really challenge our perimeter from a defensive standpoint.
Has depth on the inside been a problem for you so far?
Well, I think it's an issue that we have to continue to get better. I think G. McGee is really, he's a guard. We've been committed to playing the 4-guard lineup. I think it's our best option right now. Want to continue to develop those guys on the bench. We need to continue to get Breon better, and A.J. Patty and Charles Brown and Taryn Gilmore. We need to get those guys playing better in practice and build some confidence in them so that we do have some more depth up front.
I'm doing a feature on Wayne, so if you could just
Sure.
talk a little bit about him, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Wayne's had an awesome start to his senior year. I think it's a byproduct of the work he put in the off-season. He had a tremendous off-season, really committed a lot of time and effort into getting better as a player. He did a great job with Coach Land in the weight room, has improved his body from a strength and conditioning standpoint. You look at his efficiency, he's, I think, 11th in the country in field goal percentage right now at 68% from the floor. He's just been such a good scorer down there on the low block. And then he's a very good passer out of the post. We're going to need him to be because he's starting to face some double teams, and he's got to handle those well. And then, Will, the thing that stands out as we've moved forward here the last 4 games, he stepped up his rebounding. And while he was scoring the ball well all season long, his rebounding wasn't where it needed to be earlier in the year. He's taken the challenge. He's now up to right around 7 rebounds a game. We needed to keep climbing. But he's a guy who, I think 3 of the last 4 games, double-doubles, and has been so productive. And really excited about his, the conference portion of his senior year coming up.